We talk a lot about ethical fashion, the materials, the supply chains, all that stuff. But what if the real key to a sustainable wardrobe has nothing to do with the clothes at all? What if it's actually about self-respect? Today, we're going to dive into that, the deep, deep connection between buying consciously and, well, choosing yourself.
All right, let's just start with a feeling I am sure we all know. You're standing there, staring at a closet that is packed to the brim with clothes, and yet, nothing feels right. It's so frustrating, right? But what if that feeling isn't about not having enough options? What if it's a huge sign pointing to something way, way deeper? So where does that nothing to wear feeling lead us? For a lot of us, it leads straight to our shopping habits. I'm talking specifically about those impulse buys. You know the ones. We tell ourselves, oh, it's just a great deal, or I deserve a little treat. But the real reason we're buying it, it's often not about the item at all. It's about a craving we're trying to fill. Think about that for a second. That spontaneous purchase wasn't just a simple want. It could have been a subconscious plea, a plea to feel seen, to feel like you're keeping up, to get that little hit of validation from the world of fast-moving trends. So it's less about the dress and, way more about wanting a little outside approval. And when this becomes a pattern, we end up with what you could call a people-pleasing wardrobe. Because every single time we buy something that doesn't really align with our true values, whether that's our personal style or our ethical concerns, we're saying yes to all that external pressure, and we're saying no to our own inner voice. That is a form of self-abandonment, and believe me, it has a really high cost. Let's actually put a name to this, okay? Let's call it self-abandonment buying. This is the perfect term for that internal tug of war, It's when your own better judgment, your own moral compass, just gets shoved aside for a quick trend or a super cheap, unethically made item. It's that moment you abandon your own principles right there at the checkout. So what does this actually look like in real life? Well, it tends to show up in a few key ways. First, there's the pursuit of validation. That's buying something not because you love it, but because you think it'll make you look successful or cool. Then there's ignoring the inner no. We've all been there. That little voice in your head questioning the sale or the ethics, you just shush it. And finally, you get the people-pleasing wardrobe, a closet full of clothes for other people. Your boss, your partner, your friends, but not for the real you. Okay, so how in the world do we break free from this cycle? It really starts with a whole new way of looking at our choices, a framework that helps us see the difference between being nice and being kind. And spoiler alert, they are not the same thing, especially when we're talking about ourselves. Let's really break this down. The nice consumer is basically trying to control what other people think of them. Their motivation is something like, if I buy this popular thing, people will like me, they'll approve of me. It's all the performance, and it almost always ends in guilt. But the kind consumer, they're coming from a totally different place, a place of authenticity. Their motivation is, this purchase feels right for me. It aligns with my values. See, it's not about what other people think. It's about integrity. And that right there is where you find real freedom. And this is so crucial. This big shift from nice to kind, it's not about finding the perfect ethical brand. It's about building something way more fundamental, sustainable self-worth. We get it backwards all the time. We think the perfect outfit is going to make us feel worthy, but your clothes can only reflect the worth that's already there. You just can't buy self-worth. You can't put it on like a new jacket. It has to be built piece by piece from the inside out. Once you do that, your wardrobe can become this beautiful, amazing reflection of that inner value, but it can never, ever be the source of it. So where do we even begin with this inside job? Here are two really powerful mental shifts to try. First, release responsibility. If a friend judges you because you don't shop at fast fashion stores anymore, their reaction is their problem to manage, not yours. You gotta let that go. And second, embrace what might feel selfish at first. Choosing to invest in yourself and your values isn't selfish at all. It's the very definition of integrity. So as we bring this all together, we really land on the core message, don't we? This whole journey is about choosing integrity over impulse. It's about pulling your energy back from that constant, exhausting pressure to perform for everyone else, and instead just focusing on being real. This is it. This is the ultimate takeaway. When you start to align what you buy with what you truly believe, you stop playing that game of chasing approval. And your style, your ethical, conscious style, it just becomes this quiet, powerful statement about who you really are. So I'm going to leave you with this question. It doesn't have to be some huge purchase or a big grand gesture. Just think about the small stuff. What is one choice, just one, that you can make today to honor the person you truly are? It could be in your closet or anywhere else in your life, because that is where sustainable style really, truly begins.